It's time for Northwestern Outdoors Radio, the award-winning broadcast covering fishing, hunting, and outdoor recreation throughout the great Northwest. Northwestern Outdoors is brought to you every week by Max Lure Company, producing a legacy of innovation since 1969, by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter, and by Loophole, America's optical authority. Also sponsoring the show every week is Shiloh Inn & Suites, offering affordable excellence throughout the West. Mardon Resort, the place to fish and hunt in eastern Washington, and the Wallowa County Chamber of Commerce, where nature is on display in Northeast Oregon all year long. And now, let's head into the field with your host, John Cruz.
Mother's Day is next weekend, and with that in mind, we are bringing you a show that's all about women in the outdoors. In case you're not aware, there's a lot of women out there that are just as competent as men when it comes to fishing, hunting, hiking, kayaking, cooking, and more. Heather Hodson, the founder of Spokane Fish on the Fly, is going to start things off and tell us about her efforts to get other women on the water fly fishing. Speaking of fishing, some of the nicest rods being built right now come from the Northwest. North Fork custom rods are found in Sportsman's Warehouse stores and several other outlets, and guides in particular are becoming very, very fond of these really nice fishing rods. Diana Anderson, co-owner of the Chehalis, Washington-based company, is going to tell you all about the company and their outstanding product line of salmon and steelhead rods. From fishing, we go to food. It wouldn't be Mother's Day without a nice meal, and Camp Chef Pro staffer and Cabela's ambassador Tiffany Haugen from Springfield, Oregon's going to be dropping in with a mouth-watering recipe for wild bird enchiladas. By the way, if you don't have any wild birds, it being spring and all, chicken will work just fine too for this recipe. After that, we're talking to Stacy Keogh. She's a professor at Whitworth University in Spokane. She is studying women's participation in outdoor recreational activities. It's an interesting discussion about increased participation by women and barriers that continue to keep some of them from participating. You're going to want to hear this. It's not all about the ladies, though, during this show. We've got fishing reports from Mardon Resort in eastern Washington with the results of the Potholes Open, and guide Nate Luther, who has been after the sturgeon and smallmouth bass in and around Hell's Canyon, has got a new report for you, too. Lance Mers has got an extended Max Minute focusing on a walleye and trout fishing destination in north central Montana, and we've got a news story about an unlucky Northwest resident who has survived not one, but two bear attacks in the last 4 years. We've also got an assortment of upcoming events you're not going to want to miss, to include an outdoor film festival. But first, David Sparks is back with another edition of Sportsman Spotlight, and he is talking turkey, or at least turkey calls, with an expert who's got some advice that will help you bag a gobbler this spring. Sportsman Spotlight is brought to you every week by Nate Luther's Guide Service. Whether you are after sturgeon, bass, steelhead, or salmon, Nate Luther will hook you up on the Snake and Clearwater rivers of Idaho. Go to NateLuthersGuideservice.com to find out more, or give him a call at 208-503-9204 for Nate Luther's Guide Service.
Spring turkey hunting recently opened in a number of states, so let's talk turkey calling strategies. David Sparks, Sportsman Spotlight. I will never forget a conversation I had with old friend and expert hunter Gabe Rostberg about calling in turkeys. With Gabe, it's as much a philosophy as it is a technique. He's such a natural hunter, and I think part of it is because he doesn't overthink things.
The old keep it simple, stupid is the key to calling anything, I think. Start off and do what's worked before. If you find something that works for turkeys, it will usually continue to work. As far as if you find turkeys in an area, you could probably come back time after time again and have turkeys come in that same area, and that applies to times of day. As far as calling, you don't have to be a championship caller to call in a turkey. If you're on a mountain, turkeys are more apt to come in from the bottom, coming up the mountain to you when you call them, because turkeys, their natural defense, if a predator were to come after them, is to pitch off the side of a hill and fly down. So if you're above them, it's almost like you're more in a comfort level to them. As far as calling, keep it simple, just real short, yelp, 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 really soft with a yelp, yelp, purr, and then shut up. Don't overcall, don't call too much, and see if that works.
Also, great advice for a marriage. This is David Sparks for Sportsman Spotlight.
In the depth of Hell's Canyon, a monster sturgeon swims within the waters of the Snake River. He measures anywhere from 6 to 11 feet long and weighs out not in pounds, but in hundreds of pounds. You can fight him and you can catch him, but you'll need help to do so. That's where Nate Luther comes in. He's been navigating the rapids within Hell's Canyon for years and knows how to catch these sturgeon like no other man on the water. Find out more by going to Nate Luther's Facebook page at Nate Luther's Guide Service or give Nate a call at 208-503-9204. That's 208-503-9204 for Nate Luther's Guide Service.
It doesn't matter what sort of adventure you're after, whether it's big game deep in the backcountry, a day of fishing out on the water, or an overnight in the great outdoors. At Sportsman's Warehouse, we've got the gear in here for what you need out there. Gear up for your next adventure at one of its Sportsman's Warehouse stores or shop online. Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter.
Leupold has been building optics in Oregon since 1907, and Leupold binoculars bring excellent optical performance and modern styling to the serious outdoorsman. Whether you're a boater, birder, backpacker, or hunter, Leupold's state-of-the-art binocular lines are sure to fit your needs. Visit Leupold.com or your local Cabela's, Bi-Mart, or Sportsman's Warehouse to see the full line of Leupold optics.
I'm gonna take you fishing, honey. You're gonna love it. Gonna get up before the sun and rise above us. Got a bamboo pole and a leaky boat. It ain't much, but if you
John Cruz here, welcoming you back to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. Don't forget to stay tuned for our trivia question of the week from Sportsman's Warehouse, your chance to win a $25 gift card. Next up, we're going to meet a very special lady who brings women fly fishers together, and we caught up with her in March on the banks of the Spokane River. We're talking to a woman who loves to fish on the fly. Her name is Heather Hodson. She actually has an organization called Spokane Women on the Fly that gets women fishing on the waters with fly rods. Heather, welcome to the show.
Hi there. Thank you.
Heather, tell me a little bit about this organization, Spokane Women on the Fly. What's it all about?
Well, we're just a group of women who are like to connect on an informal level and just meet from the inland Northwest. We basically just get together and socialize, fish, tie flies, and just kind of get out on the water. And it doesn't matter if you're new, if you have years and years of experience, or just want to learn how to fly fish.
So how long have you been doing this now?
I have been fly fishing since 2009. I was born in Alaska, and so I've always grown up hunting and gear fishing, and then I picked up my first fly rods in 2009.
And you learned here locally in the Spokane area, didn't you?
I did. It took me in 1 year to catch my first fish on the fly.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I don't know if it was stupidity, persistence, patience, whatever it was. I just wanted to learn more. So I went to the Silver Bow Fly Shop and took the Beginner 101 class, which I now teach, which is pretty awesome.
I think it is awesome. And obviously you have fallen in love with the sport. How successful has this organization been? How many women come out and, basically hang out and fish with you or tie flies with you?
It's been going on for about a year, and we have probably about 30 to 40 active women.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And last weekend we went out to a Central Washington creek and we went and fished, and there were 11 of us out there. Pretty hardcore women in February, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, it's 20 degrees, and there's 11 women out there fishing. So it was pretty cool.
Was this Rocky Ford or Crab Creek?
Rocky Ford. So
that's a tough fishery. Did you have any luck?
We did. Every single woman had a tight line. So we brought a couple in. It was actually with the conditions, you couldn't have asked for anything better. So
you're a better fisherman than me. I'll say that, Heather. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these other things you do. Fly tying workshops, where are these taking place?
At my house, in my shop. So, I started this, I had this idea of getting the women together once a month I actually call it hackle and hops. So, you drink a few beers, hang out, socialize, and then tie a fly. I limit it to 10 women, and it's actually selling out, and there's people on the waiting list, whereas the first time there was only 2 people there, one being myself.
In fact, you've gotten so good at tying flies, you've actually got a couple of your own flies that you actually sell now.
I do. The Rainbow Bright is a cutthroat crusher. It is an awesome, awesome fly. And then also Barbie is a great steelhead fly. I do some fly designing for catch fly fishing out of Billings, Montana.
So if somebody wants a Barbie doll fly, or if somebody wants a Rainbow Bright fly, where do they find it?
Silverbow Fly Shop at Spokane Valley carries them, as well as other flies shops can carry them as well. So unfortunately, you have to buy them through a fly shop just because the catch is a wholesale distributor.
What do you think the reason is for the success of Spokane Women on the Fly? Why are you attracting so many women to your, well, I guess we're not calling it a club.
No, it's a group.
It's just a group.
Yep. It's a group, not to be associated with the women's only club. I think with our success is I'm a very passionate and enthusiastic person, and I think that shines through, and I think that there's no intimidation. So, you can come, like I said, if you're a beginner or have experience, everybody feels welcomed and everybody feels a part of the group, and I think that's huge. That's the key with this success.
You also, before we went on the air, you were talking about the fact that in some cases, there's women that fish, but their spouses or significant others don't fish, and this is a way for them to get together with their friends and connect.
And actually it's friends that they didn't even know they had, and now they have them. They're lifelong, fly fishing buddies, and so it's really unusual. It's kind of like the role reversal where the husbands usually fish, and you feel like, a wife or a significant other should fish also, or might, but these women fish and their husbands don't. They golf or train for Ironman or do something different, and so it's kind of a great thing to get them to connect, because they never would. They would never know each other and meet each other other than this outlet.
Now, obviously, you fish the Spokane River from time to time, but what are some of the other waters you fish? You mentioned Rocky Ford. What are some other ones in and out of Washington State?
We go all over Montana. We go northern Idaho. The Coeur d'Alene is great. St. Joe's good. We also go into, Montana's fantastic. So we'll do a lot of lakes. Washington has some really good fly fishing only lakes that they are, that are around our area. And living within 50 miles of, 50 lakes within 50 miles is pretty awesome. So.
Something else we need to bring up here. It's Spokane Women on the Fly, but based on the territory you're covering, I'm guessing you don't have to be from Spokane to be part of this group.
No, not at all. So we've fished in Oregon, we've fished in Idaho, we've fished in Montana, we've fished in Washington. I've met friends from all over the United States and all over the world. And so we're going to try to combine, some outings and actually hook up, maybe go to Utah, go to Colorado, and just kind of meet other fly gals.
And another way women can get involved is through social media. You have a Facebook page, and I presume it's Spokane Women on the Fly, but I understand there's a closed group just for women.
There is. So it's also called Spokane Women on the Fly. It's a closed group. If you want to be a part of it, you just ask to join it, and then I'll approve you. And basically, this is an outlet where you can make fly fishing dates with other women, where you can do some product review. I'll do all of my events, and I only invite people out of that group. And so that way it's a closed, more personal kind of a safety issue.
Needless to say, no boys allowed.
That's not necessarily true, We do a lot of outings. So our summer outings are more of a weekend thing, and, it's families are welcome. It's not I am woman, hear me roar. It's kind of getting the families, kiddos involved, dogs involved too, and just coming out and actually going and camping and fishing and meeting, other people as well.
One other way that you're connecting with women out there is through your monthly newsletter, the Monthly Mend. How do people get a hold of this?
If you go onto the website, SpokaneWomenOnTheFly.com, and you can actually sign up for that newsletter, or you can email me and just at SpokaneWomenOnTheFly@gmail.com, and then ask, and I'll put you on the list.
And this newsletter, this isn't just for women. This has got a lot of good fly fishing and fly tying information, doesn't it?
It does. It's more pertinent based on the what's fishing, what's happening now during this time. So for March, it's all about nymph fishing. So how to set up a nymph rig, which is subsurface fishing, how to actually subsurface nymph fish, and also the no-nos, what not to do with nymph fishing. And, for February's, it was all about streamer fishing. So I just try to incorporate kind of what's going on. April, it'll be all about lake fishing.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and give folks the website again so they can find out not only about the group, but about some of the upcoming events.
Sure. It's www.SpokaneWomenOnTheFly.com, and the Facebook page, again, is just Spokane Women on the Fly.
That's SpokaneWomenOnTheFly.com, SpokaneWomenOnTheFly.com. If you are a woman out there listening to this and you have any inkling about getting involved in fly fishing yourself in a way that's non-threatening and fun, you want to go to this website, you want to go to this Facebook page. Again, it's SpokaneWomenOnTheFly.com, and the Facebook page, simply Spokane Women on the Fly. Heather, thanks so much for telling us about this on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thank you.
Gonna get up before the sun. rides above us. Got a bamboo pole and a leaky boat. It ain't much, but if you bail, it'll float.
In the depth of Hell's Canyon, a monster sturgeon swims within the waters of the Snake River. He measures anywhere from 6 to 11 feet long and weighs out not in pounds, but in hundreds of pounds. You can fight him and you can catch him, but you'll need help to do so. That's where Nate Luther comes in. He's been navigating the rapids within Hell's Canyon for years and knows how to catch these sturgeon like no other man on the water. Find out more by going to Nate Luther's Facebook page at Nate Luther's Guide Service or give Nate a call at 208-503-9204. That's 208-503-9204 for Nate Luther's Guide Service.
That's the sound you hear when a fish hits the new Sonic bait fish from Max Lure Company. This metal lure can be cast, trolled, or jigged and will catch just about anything that swims in the sea, the river, or the lake. The Sonic bait fish has a unique vibration and flutter that can be rigged in 7 different ways. With all sorts of eye-catching colors and weights available, you'll be reaching for the Sonic bait fish as your go-to lure. It's the Sonic bait fish. Only from Max Lure Company.
Nate Luther wants to take you fishing for monster sturgeon on the Snake River and Hell's Canyon. Find out more by going to Nate's Facebook page at Nate Luther's Guide Service or give Nate a call at 208-503-9204. That's 208-503-9204 for Nate Luther's Guide Service.
We're back with John Cruz on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
It's time for another Max Minute.
Fish on!
Brought to you every week by Max Lure Company. This week, we're heading to north central Montana. Our destination, Tiber Reservoir near the small town of Shelby, which is home of our affiliate KZIN. Lance Mers is with us with Max Lure Company. Lance, I understand you can catch both walleye and good quality trout out of Tiber Reservoir.
Actually, you can, John, and we're super excited. We've got a couple new products that are specific for this lake that will do absolutely fantastic.
Well, Tiber Reservoir has gained a lot of attention as a big walleye lake. As a matter of fact, the state record was landed there in 2007, a 17 3/4 pound walleye, which is just huge. And word is that record could be broken again. Why don't you tell us the lure you would use to go after that next big walleye that's going to come out of there?
That new lure that we have, and it's the craze in the Pacific Northwest, period, and it's going towards the Midwestern states too, is called the Smile Blade Spindrift Walleye. It's absolutely fantastic. We have a pill float on it, a 1.1-inch smile blade on top of it, but the cool thing is a spindrift hook, John. It's got a free-floating integrated swivel system where the swivel itself and the hook flow freely from each other, so you can tip that with any kind of bait at all, and it's still going to give you that spin and action and attraction in that water.
Wow. So you're not just getting the spin from the blade, but you're also getting the spin from the hook and the lure itself. Sounds absolutely enticing. And that works for the walleye. But I understand that you've got one just like it for the trout. And that's important because especially in the summer months, I know those trout come from the Marias River into Tiber Reservoir, and they're worth targeting too. Tell us about this trout lure.
Well, you know, everybody's heard of the wedding ring. And if you have it, you need to look it up because you should have it in a tackle box. But we did something similar to that, but we incorporated that spindrift hook into it. So the cool thing about it, it's got that wedding ring look, but we put a smile blade on top of it. And then the great possibilities of this using the spindrift hook is just making this lure that much better.
Well, there you go, folks. Tiber Reservoir is the place to go in north central Montana. And whether you're after a walleye or whether you're after trout, you're going to want the Smile Blade Spindrift Lure. There's one for walleye. There's one for trout. Look for it at maxlure.com or at a sporting goods store near you. And that wraps up this week's Max Minute.
Shiloh Inn's Affordable Excellence. Welcome to Shiloh Inn's 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inn's. I personally invite you to enjoy Shiloh Inn's deluxe smoke-free suites, then relax and enjoy our spacious pools and spas with steam and sauna rooms and fully equipped fitness centers. And Shiloh's 4-star treatment is even more affordable with more free amenities than most other hotel chains, like free high-speed internet to a free continental delicious breakfast or full hot breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. Even the kids stay free. And smoke-free Shiloh Inns are all dog-friendly. That's what we mean by 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohins.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence. American family-owned and proud of it.
Next on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we've got a product review for you. We're talking to the new kid in town when it comes to rod building, North Fork Custom Rods. They're located in Chehalis, Washington. They've been making quite a name for themselves among steelheaders and salmon anglers in the Northwest, especially in Western Washington and Western Oregon. With us here to tell us more about these new rods, which really aren't that new, is the co-owner, Diana Anderson. Diana, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the honor of being able to talk about my rods.
Most people don't consider being on my show an honor, but thank you very much for that, Diana. I would say this, though. I am really excited about talking to you because I have just been seeing North Fork Custom Rods everywhere. You know, you're making a huge splash in the scene when it comes to steelheaders and salmon anglers. People are very passionate about their rods, and to see a lot of really well-known anglers carrying your rods now. So this is really a big deal. Diana, why don't you tell me a little bit more about this overnight success that's 8 years in the making?
Well, the 8 years in the making started with my husband having a hobby, and we decided that we wanted to take a step further. So in 2009, we went after our business license and decided that we needed a better blank. So we pursued Gary Loomis's North Fork Composite Blanks and worked out a deal with him, second largest buyer, and we now put the rods in any and every store that we can. And I was very successful in working out a deal with Sportsman's Warehouse, and we're currently in 8 Sportsman's Warehouse in the Pacific Northwest and hoping to get a lot more.
I want to get this straight. We're talking the Gary Loomis, the former creator of G. Loomis Rods. This is the guy that's designing your blanks?
This is his blanks. I buy from his company. They're the same blanks that other people are using, but I produce more finished rods than anybody else does for his product.
So you've got North Fork composite blanks. And then you're building the rest of the rod. Now you have casting rods and you have spinning rods designed for the salmon angler and the steelhead angler. What are some of the things that you do on your rods that are really unique?
Well, we have a unique design. We love the art side. So we have our custom side, which you're limited to whatever you want. We have the ability to do laser engraving. We brought in a laser engraving machine 3.5 years ago. It's become a huge hit. We can do military rods. We can do personalization, company logos. It's just whatever you like.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And folks, these are some absolutely gorgeous rods that I am looking at here. I just want to take one fishing right now. Let's go ahead and start off and talk about the rod that's made exclusively for Sportsman's Warehouse stores. Run through some of the features on this rod.
Okay, again, we have 8 different models in Sportsman's Warehouse, all designed in casting or spinning configuration. It typically right now is exclusively for salmon and steelhead. We're branching out, but these particular rods feature Gary Loomis's North Fork Composite Blank, Batson Enterprise Alp Guides, a simple black wrap, but the unique feature is we have a cork handle and foregrip that has a shrink fit applied to it, which allows for really easy cleanup, get the egg goo off and everything else. Your rod's going to look just as new today as it does 5 years from now when you fished it every day.
And folks, if you are in a relationship with any salmon or steelhead angler, you know there's a lot of pink goo involved that's going to end up on the rod. So this is probably a good thing to keep everybody happy and keep it one black color instead of black and pink or black and orange or all the other colors that you usually get on those rods. Beautiful rod. Let's talk about another one you have here, the Series 1. This is a real beautiful rod. Tell me about this one.
The Series 1 is a step above Sportsman's Warehouse and our other line. It features the same blanks in a higher graphite in most times. It has a different reel seat. Our spinning comes out with a cork insert instead of the standard just plain graphite. A lot of guys like it because it's lighter. It'll also have the Alps, or it could have the recoil titanium guides on it, depending on the application. And again, it has a nice lasered feature on it where we have it lasered with North Fork Custom Rods and North Fork Series 1s. And these are available online and in our shop.
It's an absolutely gorgeous rod, folks. And again, this cork that is basically where you would normally find graphite, where the spinning reel goes, very unique. It does feel a lot lighter. I like it a lot, and it feels great in the hand. Absolutely fantastic. This rod here, what is it, a 10-6? And I'm guessing it's made especially for using some slip bobbers and jigs. Nice rod. Last but not least, you've got something that's a price point lower, but still a very high quality rod. It's your Working Man series. Tell us about the North Fork Custom Rods Working Man series.
The Working Man series developed because we have a lot of clients that come into our shop and they just can't afford that high-end custom rod. So we sat down and figured out a way, and it came out with buying power. We go in and we'll buy 100 blanks at a time, and that brings my cost down, and we run them through as kind of a factory production series. So they're very plain Jane, but the same high-quality ingredients go into it as it does in all of our customs and high-end rods. So we were able to get our price down, and this is our original, what we call the Working Man series, and it's, again, available in our shop and online.
So basically think of it, high quality, no frills, but affordable price.
That's true. That's the best budget you're ever going to get one of these rods built in.
All right, last but not least, we need to tell folks where they can find North Fork Custom Rods. Obviously, Sportsman's Warehouse stores west of the Cascades right now. Is that both Washington and Oregon?
No, currently we're in just basically the I-5 corridor. We've got Puyallup, Federal Way, Silverdale, Kelso, Vancouver, Portland, Spokane, and Kennewick.
So, you're here in Washington State, soon to expand, I hope, in other Sportsman's Warehouse stores. Where else can people find out more about your rods and purchase them?
They're welcome to visit our website at northforkcustomrods.com. You can email me at northforkcustomrods@gmail.com, or feel free to give me a phone call at 360-520-5741.
And you'll find that email address and that phone number again on their website at northforkcustomrods.com. Again, that's North Fork Custom Rods, high-quality rods, making a big splash on the scene. Find out more about them at northforkcustomrods.com. Diana, thanks so much for telling us all about this on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Well, thank you very much, and it's just been a great experience.
Next on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we're catching up with Tiffany Haugen again. That's right. She's the woman that's the great cook. She's with Cook with Cabela's. She's also a pro staffer with Camp Chef. And this weekend, she's at the Yakima Sportsman Show. Tiffany, understand you've got another great recipe to tell us about chicken enchiladas, but it's not just chicken that goes in these enchiladas, is it?
No, you can put all kinds of wild game birds in this, whether you're dealing with wild turkey, pheasant, grouse, any of these things are going to be great in there. Or if you've got chicken, you can use chicken.
Tell me more. How do we go about making this?
This is a really easy recipe to put together, and again, lots of variations depending on what you like. I like to go with a sour cream or Greek yogurt mixed with some ricotta, cottage cheese, or even queso fresco to make that kind of the creamy part of it, and then I'll add some green chilies into that for a nice roasted flavor, and then choosing whatever kind of enchilada sauce you want to do. The green, you want to do the red, you can do mild, you can do hot, but refried beans, some olives, we'll have chicken broth that'll go on top of this, and then your corn tortillas, and whatever shredded meat that you have. And I like dealing with already cooked meat when I'm doing this, just so I'm basically warming up the recipe. And so I'll just poach the pheasant or the turkey or even the chicken, whatever meat that I'm going to use, I'll just poach that first, and then it'll be ready to go. So you're just going to assemble those by filling those tortillas with the creamy mixture and some of the bean mixture with a little bit of chicken. Fold those over, lay them in the casserole dish, and cover it with the chicken broth or the wild turkey stock and your enchilada sauce, and you're ready to bake.
So let's talk about being out in the field. So let's say you just harvested some pheasant. Let's say you've harvested some grouse. You're at camp. You're going to be out for a couple days. This sounds great, but how are you going to cook it in the field?
Oh, easy to cook in the field. You can, with a Camp Chef oven, kind of a newer product. They've only been out for a few years, but they've kind of revolutionized camping for me because you can bake in them. You can make fresh cinnamon rolls in the morning if you want to. There are 2 burners on top of the stove, so it'll do anything you really need to in camp. And you can even, you can make pizzas, but it's nice to be able to make these casseroles because even if you've prepared them ahead of time in the foil pans, you can, pull out a lasagna, an enchilada mix, some, macaroni and cheese, whatever. You can pre-make that at home, bring it out to camp. But if you're in camp, very easy. Again, you're just going to clean up those birds, poach the birds very quickly in just boiling water or chicken stock. Just till the meat's done, you can tell it'll turn white just like chicken does. And then you'll be able to assemble this recipe right there in camp.
This sounds fantastic. Now, I know you've got a lot of books out. Where can you find this recipe? Which one of your books is this one found in?
This one is found in Cooking Game Birds, one of our newer titles, and you can find this website at www.tiffanyhaugen.com.
That's tiffanyhaugen.com. Tiffany Haugen, one of the best cooks you're going to run across when it comes to outdoors cooking, and she's got a whole bunch of books she wants to share with you. That's tiffanyhaugen.com. Tiffany, always a pleasure. Thanks again for sharing with us on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thanks. Always great talking to you.
You demand quality performance from your binoculars, whether you use them in the field, on the water, or at a stadium. But you don't want to spend a fortune. That's where the BX Mackenzie binoculars from Leupold come in. These armored, waterproof binoculars are both comfortable and dependable. Look for your Mackenzie binoculars at quality sporting goods retailers near you, to include your Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse, or Northwest Bimart stores. BX Mackenzie, bringing your world into sharper focus, only from Leupold.
Welcome back to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. It's time for news and reports brought to you every week by Mardon Resort at Eastern Washington's Potholes Reservoir, where the 36th annual Potholes Bass Open took place just a couple of weeks ago. There were 111 boats participating this year, each with 2 anglers. They competed over the 2-day tournament, held every April, where you weigh in your 12 biggest bass. Now, 1,068 smallmouth and largemouth bass, totaling over 2,900 pounds, were caught and released in this tournament. That's incredible fishing. Peter Klein of Tulalip, Washington, and Levi Rodello of Warden, Washington, took the coveted first place spot in the Potholes Bass Open. They weighed in 47.21 pounds and 12 fish. Kelly Ross and Levi Meesberg took second place with 45 pounds. The biggest bass of the tournament weighed in at over 6.1 pounds. As you can tell, Potholes Reservoir is an excellent bass fishing destination right now. Come on out and try it yourself. Find out more by going to mardonresort.com. That's mardonresort.com, where the fish bite, but we don't. We've got another fishing report from you, too. It's from Nate Luther of Nate Luther's Guide Service. He's been fishing in and around Hell's Canyon, says the sturgeon fishing's been very good on the Snake River. Smallmouth bass and rainbow trout, too, are also starting off good this spring. And salmon fishing is starting too. That's right, the season was just announced. It is open on portions of the Snake and Clearwater rivers. In case you haven't heard, the spring Chinook fishing should be pretty good this year on these Idaho waters. They're actually forecasting a run similar to last year, and a lot of guides said last year was an awfully good year to be on the water if you like springers that have come all the way up to Idaho, where you've got an opportunity to catch them. And if you want to go ahead and sample sturgeon, salmon, smallmouth, or rainbow, just give Nate a call, 208-503-9204. That's 208-503-9204 for Nate Luther's Guide Service. If you're wondering about opening day results from the Lowland Lakes opener in Washington, we've got the rundown for you from the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. In eastern Washington, the hot spots were Williams and Clear Lake in Spokane County, where anglers were catching 6.2 fish per angler. Not all of those kept, by the way. Waits Lake in Stevens County was another hot spot with 6 fish per angler on average, and Chopaka Lake up in Okanagan County, it's a fly fishing only lake, had light pressure but 7.9 fish per angler. Over in western Washington, a lot bigger numbers. Goss Lake in Island County gave up 8.8 fish per angler. Martha Lake in Snohomish County, 8.7. Bosworth and Armstrong Lakes, also in Snohomish County, 8.6 fish per angler. Clear Lake in Pierce County gave up a whopping 11.6 fish per angler, and the hottest of the hot spots was Haven Lake in Mason County, where anglers averaged 14.1 fish per angler. Again, that doesn't mean they kept all of them, but boy, the catching sure was good. So if you're looking for a good lake to go fishing in the next couple weeks, there's some great suggestions for you. In outdoor news from the Outdoor Hub, you may have heard about the Washington man identified only by his first name of Bob, who survived a brutal attack from a black bear on Joint Base Lewis McCord south of Tacoma a couple of weeks ago. What you probably didn't know, though, was that Bob also carries scars and bite marks from another bear attack at the same place 4 years earlier. According to Como News in Seattle, both attacks occurred while Bob was jogging with his dog on a wooded trail on the base. In both cases, Bob found himself in a fight for his life and survived. The bear from the first attack was never found, but the bear involved in the most recent attack was found and killed by state game officials with the help of specially trained bear dogs. I don't know. Is Bob the victim of bad luck? Or do you think Bob ran into the same bear twice, which took a real disliking to him and his dog? Or maybe Bob's been wearing bacon-scented cologne or something. Wow. All I know is that I hope poor Bob doesn't have to go through this a third time. I think twice is more than enough. Next up on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, have you noticed more women in the field, especially in the hunting field? Well, if you have, there's a reason why. With us here to tell us more, Dr. Stacy Keogh. She's an assistant professor at Whitworth in the sociology department. And Stacy, you've done some studies on this subject, haven't you?
I have.
So, Stacy, I guess we need to back up a step. You know, there are national reports that come out every 5 years from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and do those numbers show that women's participation is growing, remaining stable? You know, when it comes to hunting, are there more women that are out in the field?
There are more women out in the field. The percentage has increased about 2% over the last 10 years, which doesn't seem like a lot, but the overall population of hunters in the United States has decreased. So what you're seeing is a greater proportion of women hunters out there.
Which, by the way, folks, is a great thing. And let's talk about some of the reasons why this is happening. I understand you did a study recently that shed some light on this. And what are some of the interesting facts that you have found that are driving more women to go in the field and hunt?
A lot of women are saying that getting organic food, healthy food that they can collect for their family is the primary reason why they're hunting. They see it as a way to reconnect with their fathers or brothers or significant others, a way to connect with their family. So there is that major relational aspect involved.
Speaking of that, you found out some really interesting information about fathers and brothers, or the lack thereof, when it came to women getting into the field.
Right. So of the 40 women that I interviewed, the ones that had fathers that got them involved in hunting did not have brothers. So the women that are hunting, that have been reconnected to hunting, didn't have brothers growing up. And so it could be that their fathers have included them in their hunting activities when they were younger, whereas those that had brothers, maybe those were the ones that the fathers took out in the field. So it might be a specific gender relationship that women have with their fathers.
Another question for you. In this study, did you see women basically started out as hunters and have continued as hunters throughout their formative years and into adulthood? Or are you more seeing that women basically got out of hunting and are now getting back into it, and that's what's driving the greater numbers?
I think it's more of the latter. Women are leaving it for a while, sort of exploring things on their own, and then women reporting going back into it to reconnect with fathers or brothers or whoever. The alternative is women getting involved in hunting for the first time with their romantic partners or significant others as a way to connect with them.
Let's talk about something else here. Women's participation in hunting groups, conservation groups. Is this something that's attractive to women? And if not, why not?
Women don't tend to be associated with outdoor groups, not because of lack of interest, but just they don't feel included in the conversations. Women report, going to events where they don't have any conversation that will include them, just the topics that are discussed, or auctioning off items that are for men only. So they just don't feel like they're a part of the conversation when they go to those meetings.
And you were just on a panel that I got to hear. And one thing for you, all of you out there who are involved with conservation groups and put together raffles for women, do yourself a favor. Do not give out pink camo. Do not give out pink guns, because the serious women hunters, they don't want that. They want the camo. They want the guns that's going to work. And I bet you've heard this a few times, haven't you, Stacy?
Yes, thank you. And that's absolutely true. That was part of the reason I got into researching women hunters is I'm seeing all this pink camo, wondering if women actually wanted to buy this and if they were serious hunters. And women have reported, yes, I definitely want clothes that are specific to me, to my body type, but they can't wear pink camo if they're actually going out in the field. They want actual camouflage, dark colors, things that will make them camouflage in the field. So pink camo is probably not the best approach.
Let's talk about barriers that are keeping women from getting into the field. Are there certain things that are still making it tough for women to get involved?
The primary reason, which other research has found before I started my own research, is the constraints around family obligations, feeling like they need to stay home with their children and don't have a lot of recreational time in general. Another reason women have reported not hunting is just fear or lack of awareness of what's going on in the woods, or not being able to pack out an animal if they did it on their own. So that might be a reason why you don't see women hunting alone or with other women. However, women don't seem to have women networks to go out and hunt with. So if they don't have a male in their life that actually hunts, they might not be out there hunting.
Stacy, if people want to find out more about this topic and the work you're doing, any suggestions on where they can go?
There was an article published in Backcountry Journal in summer 2014 that talks a little bit about my research. Also, Rich Landers of the Spokesman Review is doing some research on this, and I believe following this panel, he's writing up something regarding women in hunting.
So there you go, folks. Some interesting facts about women in the wild. Stacy, thanks for breaking down the numbers for us here on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thank you, John.
Tired of the noise, the hustle and bustle of the city? Then find your solitude in the lands of Wallowa County. Bring your camping gear and hike into the Eagle Cap Wilderness. Explore the Zumwalt Prairie. Rise with the sun on the Wallowas and hear the early morning stirring of the wildlife. Smell the fresh coffee, the sizzling bacon, and the crackle of the fire. This is a good life, and it's waiting for you in Northeast Oregon's Wallowa County. Come and enjoy one of Oregon's 7 wonders, and you'll wonder why you haven't been here before. Your getaway starts at WallowaCountyChamber.com.
When it comes to camping, I like to relax, but I was getting stressed about camp cooking. Then I discovered the Camp Chef Portable Outdoor Oven. This junior-sized oven works with a small propane bottle and is perfect for family camping trips. With a matchless ignition, heating up to 400 degrees, and space to put a 9x13-inch pan, I can cook cinnamon rolls for breakfast, casseroles for dinner, and pie for dessert. Look for the Portable Outdoor Oven at a store near you or online at campchef.com. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
It doesn't matter what sort of adventure you're after. Whether it's big game deep in the backcountry, a day of fishing out on the water, or an overnight in the great outdoors. At Sportsman's Warehouse, we've got the gear in here for what you need out there. Gear up for your next adventure at one of its Sportsman's Warehouse stores or shop online. Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter.
We're back with one last cast from John Cruz on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
It's time again for upcoming events and for our weekly trivia question, brought to you every weekend by Sportsman's Warehouse. The Outdoor Film Festival is making its way around the Northwest and promises to be one heck of a show. The festival kicks off at 7 p.m. on the dates we're about to tell you about. Simply bring a camp chair, settle in, and get ready for some awesome films that will motivate you to get out there and have your own adventure outdoors. Better still, if you attend, you've also got a chance to win a Dodge Ram pickup truck. Now that sounds like a great deal. You can find the Outdoor Film Festival at several Oregon Sportsman's Warehouse stores, to include the Medford store on May 5th at 7 p.m., the Bend store on May 6th at 7 p.m., and in Hillsboro on May 8th. Finally, it's going to be in Portland on May 9th before heading to Washington and our other Northwest states. Find out more about the Outdoor Film Festival, to include when it's coming to a Sportsman's Warehouse store near you, at OutdoorFilmTour.com. That's OutdoorFilmTour.com, or look them up on their Facebook page too. Most of you were on point last week when you guessed the Labrador Retriever was the most popular breed of dog in the nation. This week, our question has to do with fly fishing. What is the least likely offering? You'll see a fly angler casting into a clear running trout stream. Is it a streamer? Is it a nymph? Or is it a spinnerbait? Just the visual on this question should be good for a laugh. Give us your answers on our Facebook page at Northwestern Outdoors Radio, or through our website at northwesternoutdoors.com. One person who guesses correctly is going to win a $25 gift card. That's right, we give away one every week from Sportsman's Warehouse, and you can buy a lot of good stuff for that. All sorts of flies for your next fly fishing adventure. The website again, northwesternoutdoors.com, and the Facebook page, which you just need to like first before you enter, is Northwestern Outdoors Radio. In other upcoming events, if you're a Saturday listener in Eastern Idaho, you might want to pack up the kids and take them to a free Youth Outdoor Skills Day. It's taking place Saturday at Beaverdick Park, west of Rexburg on Highway 33. Kids and adults can enjoy free seminars covering topics like archery, muzzleloading, outdoor survival, fishing, trapping, backpacking, boating safety, dog training, and much, much more. The Bear Education and Pellet Gun Trailer will be there too. The event runs from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and if you go, they'll even give you a free lunch. Another Saturday event is taking place south of Missoula at Travelers Rest State Park from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a celebration of the International Migratory Bird Day, and if you bring the kids and pony up a $2 donation per person, they can build birdhouses, learn about the birds found in this area by the Lewis and Clark expedition, and the whole family can go on a guided bird walk. I've been at this state park. It's a great place for that sort of activity. You're going to love it. Finally, in Washington, a reminder that next Saturday the 10th is a free day to visit state parks. That's right, no Discover Pass required to enter. Sounds like the perfect opportunity opportunity for a Mother's Day trip to one of the 110-plus state parks in the Evergreen State, and if the weather cooperates, maybe even enjoy a picnic. That's all for this week. If you missed part of our show, go to our website at northwesternoutdoors.com or catch us on the internet later this week at our internet radio station, RenoViolaOutdoors.com. It's the home of WRVO Radio, which actually has over 30 outdoor shows, and we're proud to be part of that lineup. The website again is RenoViolaOutdoors.com, or go to our website for last week's show at NorthwesternOutdoors.com. Mother's Day is Sunday the 10th, so be sure to treat the mother in your life right. As you heard during this broadcast, one way to do that is to take them on an outdoors excursion. So until next time, take care, God bless, and make it a point to spend some time outdoors.